Hey, what are you guys doing here? Welcome to my channel. I hope you guys enjoy these AYAMA-based practices, and remember to hit the subscribe button below. Let's go practice now. Welcome to my hip opening class. Tight hips is a huge problem. It's a problem that causes lower back pain, causes problems with the knees, knee pain. It causes problems with the piriformis and sciatic pain. And it can also even affect pain related to the shoulders and neck. So we really need to do something about it. Today's AYAMA-based practice is going to focus on activating all the muscles in your hips, the hip flexors, extensors, adductors, abductors, and you're going to leave this practice not only feeling more open in your hips, but also more stable. Let's dive in. Let's start the practice off by coming into Shavasana. I'd like you to place your hands at the pelvic bones and just breathe into your hands. And as you breathe in and breathe out, remember that this is your time. This is your time to touch that most authentic and that most beautiful part of yourself. So let's begin this hip opening and engagement practice. We're going to start by bending the knees and bring your left foot across your right knee. You're going to bring your right hand to your left knee and then push your left knee into your right hand. And we're going to hold this each time for about 6 seconds. So just release now. And then let's do it again. So you're going to bring your left knee into your right hand. You're pressing the knee into the hand. Release, and then do it again. You're pressing the knee into the hand. You're not using the hand to press into the knee. Release, and then do it again. This is a wonderful practice to engage the psoas on the left side. Relax it. And then straighten the left leg, straighten both legs. Take a breath. And then turn the left foot out to the left. Bring the left foot out 30 degrees and lift the leg up. Very good. And then repeat it again. Lift the left leg up. Remember that there's an external rotation on the left leg. And then lower the leg down. And then repeat it again. Lift the left leg up. This is a very powerful way to engage the psoas, and then very slowly start to lower the leg, bring it back to neutral, bend both knees, bring your right foot across the left knee, bring your left hand to your right knee, and then again press the right knee into the left hand, and then relax, and then do it again. Keep the left arm as straight as possible here, pressing the knee into the hand and then release. Do it again. Press the knee into the hand. The left arm is straight. The only thing that's moving is the knee into the hand and relax. Do it again. You might want to find and locate the right psoas between the left hip bone and the navel. Relax, and do it again. It becomes very obvious because the psoas sort of pops out because it's contracting. Relax, and then do it again. As you're doing this, you're shortening the psoas muscle and the brain is able to connect to that muscle. Relax, and then bring the legs out into Shavasana. Do an outer rotation of the right leg. Bring the right leg out 30 degrees and lift up about 45 degrees. And then lower the leg down. And then lift the right leg back up. Keep that left hip bone moving down into the ground. And then lower the right leg down. And then do an external rotation on the right leg. Lift it up to 45 degrees. Hold it there. And then back down. All right, and then come back into Shavasana and then bring the right knee up. And so it's over the hip bone. You're going to hold that right knee with your right hand and bring the left foot as much as you can to the left. And then bring it back into neutral and then turn it back to the left. We're now working on engaging our hip rotators. Release it, bring it back, and then rotate the foot again across the left thigh. Keep the knee at 90 degrees. Keep breathing deeply. And then bring the foot back. And then rotate the foot again over the left thigh. You're going to feel some different muscles engage that you've never felt before. These are called your hip rotators. Bring the foot back. And then bring the foot back over the left thigh again. Do it as much as you can. Really rotate that hip as much as you're able to, and you're going to hold it there. Release it, and then do it again. And then bring it back. Very nice. Now let's do the same on the other side. Bring the left knee up across the left hip. Lock the knee with your left hand and bring the foot across your right thigh. And then hold it, and then release it. And then do it again. And release, and then do it again. Remember to keep breathing. Release it, and then do it again. You're really starting to feel different hip muscles engage. And release it, and then do it again. And more particularly, the hip rotator muscles, which are responsible for stabilizing the hip as you move in rotation. Release it, and then do it again. So keep moving that foot towards your right shoulder as much as you can, but stabilizing that left knee. Release everything, come back down into Shavasana, bring the legs together, turn the toes out to the sides, and lift the legs up 45 degrees. And then lower back down. Lift the legs back up. Remember to externally rotate those legs as much as you can. Squeeze the leg bones together and then bring them back down. Do it again. Externally rotate the toes outwards like a plie, lifting up 45 degrees. This is engaging the iliacus muscle. Slowly lower it down. Do it again. Bring the legs back up. The iliacus's main role is to stabilize the pelvis and then lower back down and then come back up. If you want an open hip, then you need to stabilize the pelvis. Shake everything out, do it again. Bring the legs together, turn the toes out, lift up 45 degrees. Remember to breathe, please. Slowly lower down. Now roll over to the side and have the legs straight out. This is kind of setting up for an Uttanasana, but then you're going to lift your left leg up. So if you roll to your right, lift your left leg up. The leg is neither internally or externally rotated. Lower down and then lift back up. We're really starting to isolate the glute med and the TFL, the tensor fasciae latae. Lower down and then bring the leg back up. These muscles are really responsible again for stabilizing the pelvis and the hips. And lower back down and lift back up. If you want open hips, we need to work on better muscle engagement of the muscles around the hips and lower back down and then lift back up. And once the hips have a sense of stability, they will open for you, but then they will open for you in a sense of real stability. Okay, so lower down, we're going to do clam shells. Bring the knees together, bend the knees a little bit towards the camera, and then lift that left knee up as high as you can. Now you can see my hand just on the outer edge of the knee. It's kind of creating a little bit of tension. When you're ready, lower back down. And then lift back up. Use that left hand a little bit to create some tension. Inhale deeply, exhale deeply, and then do it again. And remember to smile as you're doing this. One of the most important things to cultivate in your yoga practice is a sense of joy. And lower back down, and then do it again. So you can see the edges of my feet together here. You want to keep the edges of the feet as you lift that knee up as high as you can. Lower back down, lift back up. Very nice. Good. Yes, you might even notice your range of motion improving. Bring the knee down and then turn over to the other side. So now we're going to focus on lifting that right leg up. So again, you're going to come to sort of a neutral position with the leg lifted up as high as you can. This is kind of working a posture dynamically. Lower back down and lift it back up. So instead of me grabbing the leg and bringing it towards me, I'm now using the muscles in my legs to lift it up. And I'm working at my end range. And exhale slowly down, and then inhale slowly back up. Keep lifting it up. You're going to feel this in your TFL and in your glute med, maybe even a little bit of glute min. Lower back down, and then come back up. Remember to turn the corners of your mouth upwards. And then slowly come back down, and then come back up again. Very nice. Lift up a little bit higher if you can. You'll feel those abductor muscles engaging, and then come back up again. Yeah, nice. And then down. Now bend those knees, bring them in a little bit. The right hand on top of the right knee. Lift that right knee up as high as you can. This is a great technique to isolate glute med as well as the piriformis. Slowly back down and then come back up. The piriformis is responsible for internal and external rotation of the thigh. Lift it up a little bit more and then slowly down. Lift it back up. And the glute med, of course, is responsible for abduction. And lower down and lift back up. Good. Keep the inner edges of the feet together. Lower back down. And then when you're ready, lift back up. Using that hand a little bit to create some resistance here. So you're pushing the knee up into the hand, and the hand is applying a little bit of pressure. Lift the knee back up again. Push up a little bit more, and then slowly down. Lift up again. Lift that knee up as high as you can. And then slowly down. So straighten the leg, and then bring that right foot across the left thigh to the ground in front of you. And then you're going to lift the left leg up, and then lower back down. Then lift the left leg up again, and lower down. And this time, kind of try and do a little bit of an external rotation on that left leg. Lift it up. This is actually targeting the longissimus. Lower it back down. Do an external rotation if you can. Lift it up. Longissimus is one of the key adductors, and lower back down. So much hip tightness is related to the longissimus. Lift the leg up if you haven't already. You don't have to lift it up that much. Lower it back down. Lift it up again. It doesn't have to come that high. You're not trying to go for broke here. You're just trying to isolate and contract that muscle. Lower it down, and then roll over again to the other side. Very good. Cross that left thigh, left foot over the right leg. Lift the right leg up and lower down. Try and do a bit of an external rotation of that leg. Lift it up. And back down. Do an external rotation of the leg. Lift it up. If you want to, take your hand and try and feel the adductor engage here. It's kind of cool. And when you're ready, lower back down. And then do it again. Externally rotate it if you can. Lift it up a bit. Notice that the rest of my body isn't moving. Lower it back down. Externally rotate, lift it back up. The rest of the body should stay really still. You're not compensating or using any other area of your body. And then lower it back down. The more you can isolate these muscles, the more powerful it becomes. Lift it back up again. And lower it back down. And then come back onto your back. And bring your knees over your hips. Bring your hands just to your knees. And press the knees as much as you can into the hands. And then straighten the legs out to about 30 degrees. 30, 35, 40 degrees. And then lower the legs down. Take a breath in. And exhale. And then bend the knees again. And bring the knees over the hips. Bring your hands when you're ready, bring the knees up over your hips. Push the knees into the hands. And push the knees into the hands. Hold that for about 6 seconds. And then we're going to straighten the legs. And then straighten the legs. Your hands will just rest on your thighs. Feel the thighs really engage here. And then hands on the thighs. Feel those thighs engage. And then slowly lower the legs down. Take a deep breath. Again, repeat. Knees over the hips, hands to knees. Press the knees into the hands. You'll feel even the rectus abdominis engage. Straighten the legs. Have the hands on the thighs. Really feel those thighs engaging. And then slowly lower down. Oh, goddess. Take a deep breath. Do it again. Knees over the hips. Hands to knees. Press the knees into the hands. Press them, press them, press them. And then straighten the legs. Push through the heels of the feet, but also see if you can engage your rectus femoris and then slowly lower down. Take a breath. And then we're going to do it again. Bring the knees over the hips. Push the knees into the hands. Keep the arms as straight as possible. And then straighten the legs out. About 35 degrees up. Really engage your quads here and then lower down. Oh, how nice. Let's do it again. Bring the knees up over the hips, hands to knees. Press the knees into the hands. Press, 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 press. And then straighten the legs. Push through the heels of the feet. Really engage the quads here. And then lower down. Take a breath, a well-deserved breath. So now bend your knees and bring the feet about hip distance apart, just on the outside as though the hips actually lift the hips up and squeeze the glutes as much as possible. Oh, such a great pose, this bridge pose. Setu Bandhasana. Lower the hips down. Jiggle the glutes. Lift the hips back up. Nice. Really feel those glutes engage. Beautiful. Lift up a little higher and then lower down. Nice. Now really press through the heels of your feet. Lift the hips up again. This is working on hip extension. Working on improving the glutes, ability to contract. And then slowly lower down. Jiggle the glutes. Lift the hips up again. Can you squeeze the glutes just a little bit more for me? See, when you squeeze them, if you can lift up a little bit higher and then lower down. Even walk the feet out a little bit and then walk the feet back and lift the hips up again. Squeeze the glutes, press down through the heels of your feet, maybe even lift the toes to isolate the heels, and when you're ready, slowly lower down. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Lift up. Squeeze those glutes. Oh, this pose, you can never get enough of it. We need to activate our glutes. And then slowly lower down. And guess what? Straighten the legs. Your favorite pose. But I want to invite you to bring your hands just to your lower belly, pelvic bones. Breathe into your hands. Our yoga practice helps to bring us back to our wholeness, brings us back to that place within us that is always at rest, always at peace. Sutra 1.3 says that yoga happens when we are able to return to the Svarupa, the inner essence of ourself.